It's time to go ahead and put down the eggnog and get ready for the final Bills home game of the 2024 season. Welcome back to the Mafia Minute. I am Magnum Mills here with Jamie G, and we are previewing the Bills Week 17 matchup, the home closer. Well, and hopefully not all the home games, but for the regular season against the New York Jets. We are not loving that, but we hope you are loving this episode of the Mafia Minute presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. Thanks for checking out our show. You can find all of our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at CaesarGapFF and on the web at MafiaMinute.com. Very easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please remember to hit the thumb. Jamie G, we always joke about how you're either cautiously optimistic or cautiously pessimistic about the Bills' upcoming matchup. I know you can be feeling a little bit of a certain way after being down 14-0 to the Patriots last week. Makes you feel like nothing is a given. I know it would have been nice to see Kansas City lose on Christmas, not only as a Christmas present, but to keep the Bills alive for the 1 seed. That didn't happen, but you're still right there. I think you win this one. You're the 2 seed. How are you feeling going into this one?
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you got a bunch of great Bills gear, a bunch of good Bills Mafia stuff. That's awesome. I'm feeling pretty good, man. It was a good Christmas for your boy. But I think this is a game where I hope the Bills learned a lesson last week against the Patriots, and that even if a division rival comes into your house and they got nothing to play for, they're still going to try to beat you because you are the top dog in the division, and the division does run through you as it has for the past 5 years. You can't treat these games lightly. And it just felt like last week the Bills just thought they could do the bare minimum, go through practice mode and win a game. They did, but barely. I hope they learned a lesson this week and it doesn't repeat against the Jets. I'm cautiously optimistic. We got a chance to go 8-0 at home, clean sweep on the Jets and the Finns, and 7-0 or I'm sorry, 5-0 in the division. That's important, man. I think we should finish this one with a win at home in front of our fans, and ultimately let's clinch that number 2 seed and make sure we get a couple of home playoff games.
That is an excellent segue into the Bills on Parade, the latest Bills news and whatnot, because Jamie G is right. Yeah, you win this one, you're the 2 seed. All the Bills have to do is win one of their two remaining games to clinch the 2 seed. But I think it's a not nicer if it's just this game. Get it out of the way. Leave yourself some options for week 18. Maybe everybody doesn't need to get out there. Maybe you want to go for the divisional sweep. Who knows? And we always hear about this time of year about what quarterbacks get for the offensive linemen, right? Like fur coats and chains and cars and headphones and all this crazy stuff. The Bills' offensive line actually went out and got Josh Allen a present. And maybe it's a little bit presumptuous here, but they got him a very sparkly, I'm sure very expensive diamond chain. It's got like a little jersey on it. It's got the number 17. It's got the MVP written on there. Jamie G, is this are they pushing the luck with this one? Should they have waited? Is it proper to give them this for Christmas? I mean, it is an awesome chain, but should they have held on to this one? Is the jinxie part of you at all worried about this?
A little, but look, no matter what, I thought he was the league MVP last year. No matter what, I think everyone on that team knows the player he is and thinks he's the MVP. I get the fact that you got a couple other people competing for it, and I understand the Lamar Jackson comparison and all that. But if you took Josh Allen off this team, I don't think they win any games. If you take Lamar Jackson off that team, they can still win games just giving the football to Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry should be the MVP more than Lamar. But I digress. I think it's a little look. You hope it's not like they did this and then he doesn't get it. I think the voting's all but over. But we'll see what happens. It's not official yet, but either way, it's awesome, and it's got the whole offensive lines room, all their names monogrammed on the back. It's a really cool gift, and no matter what, he's our MVP. No matter what anybody else says.
I agree with you on all of that. I'm just curious, did he also, I'm sure he got his offensive lineman something. Now I'm curious, why didn't that come out? Does he have to try to top this now? I am very curious. Does Haley Steinfeld have a role in shopping for the offensive lineman? Now I have questions here, but we don't really have time for all of those. But we do know that the Bills got Josh Allen the present, and they got him an Elvis. Did you actually see this? They actually got an Elvis impersonator, wrapped him up, wheeled him out onto the field. If you're watching on the YouTube, you can probably check it out. I didn't even know Josh Allen was really an Elvis guy. Josh Elvis actually sounds kind of cool. I know he doesn't really need another nickname, but I kind of like Josh Elvis because Elvis is real cool, right? A very cool gift. I feel a little claustrophobic for the Elvis dude who had to get all wrapped up and everything, but I don't know. Josh Allen's probably the man who is everything, right? What else can you get him? So, you think they did a good job shopping?
I love this dude. This was so cool, and I love his face. He was creeped out at first, like, "What is this?" It was so weird, and then he saw it was an Elvis, and he was just there for a while. I think like 2 hours or something. It was awesome. Yeah, he's a big Elvis guy. It calms him. He listens to Elvis pregame every week, and I just think I thought this was such a cool gift idea, man. And how awesome is Josh, dude? He's just so great, dude. Love you, buddy.
Let's be honest, he's almost at the point where he might be able to get the mutton chops and do the hair. The hair is kind of long. I know you got to get a lot of product going to probably make it happen, but he could maybe do an Elvis thing for Halloween one year or something. It's within the realm of possibility, I feel. So we'll keep that in play. And if you've never booked an Elvis, you would know that they're hourly. So that's the only way you can get an Elvis is by the hour, at least in my experience. And one more positive note here: we know Josh Allen has been breaking all of the records this year, but one more that's on the line. With that win last week, Josh Allen tied Russell Wilson for the most wins by a quarterback in the first 7 seasons of his career. He's got 75 of them. He's got to get one more to set the record. So let's do that one this week as well, right? No need to wait around last week. We'd like to make it optional here. Maybe they want him out there for the MVP push or something, but it'd be nice if everybody could take a nice old rest on week 18. Then they can prove to Jamie G they can win without Josh Allen. The offensive lineman, James Cook, they could get it done probably. Yeah, the offensive lineman, any of the running backs, right? Maybe you bring Frank Gore up, let him do it. Why not? For all those people still playing in their fantasy leagues in week 18. Let's get into the game preview, starting with the tail of the tape. Once again, week 17, December 29th, another 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff. Look at that. The Bills playing at 1 o'clock. This one's on CBS or Sunday Ticket. The 4-11 Jets are traveling to Orchard Park to face the 12-3 Buffalo Bills. Currently, the Jets are 9.5-point underdogs, plus 360 on the money line, according to the Draftkings Sportsbook, while the Buffalo Bills are 9.5-point home favorites, minus 470 on the money line. Game total in this one is 46.5 points. And lo and behold, Mother Nature doing us a solid here, or maybe not. Maybe it's working against us because it's going to be an unseasonably warm day in Western New York. You're looking at temperatures in the low 50s. Going to be a bit windy, a bit rainy, nothing crazy, but you're looking at winds between 10 and 15 miles an hour and an 80% chance of rain. So more of a sprinkle, only expecting about a quarter inch, but not a monsoon, just something to keep an eye on. Let's get into the injury report. We will deal with the Jets first. They've had a couple of notable players that missed the first 2 practices of the week on Wednesday and Thursday, including wide receiver Devontae Adams, cornerback Sauce Gardner, offensive lineman Morgus Malone, and offensive lineman Elijah Vera Tucker. Also had a few players that are questionable with limited practice, most notably Tony Adams, safety, Michael Carter II, the cornerback, Braden McGregor, defensive lineman, Hassan Reddick, pass rusher, John Simpson, another offensive lineman, and very notably Quinnen Williams, their defensive tackle. Let's get into the Bills side of the ball, starting with the players who did not play in week 16. A few of them are still questionable here, including Taylor Rapp, the safety, who got in a limited practice both days, as did the other safety, Damar Hamlin. He's dealing with a ribs injury. Good news, linebacker Matt Milano went from limited practice on Wednesday to full practice on Thursday, trending in the right direction with that groin injury. Wide receiver Curtis Samuel, still questionable, limited practice both days with a shoulder. And Rasul Douglas, another guy who's been upgraded to full practice with that knee injury at corner. So looking to get him back in there. And then as far as new injuries, Josh Allen is on the injury report now with that elbow he banged last week, but got in full practice both days. There's no worry about him missing this one. One minor concern is defensive back Cam Lewis. He was listed as limited practice on Wednesday and Thursday with a shoulder injury. And finally, linebacker Balen Spector was placed on IR with those calf injuries, and they signed Nicholas Morrow in a corresponding move. Jamie G, what sticks out for you here other than you would really like to get some members of your secondary back? But if you can win it without him, do you need to push him here? Because that could get him almost another 2 weeks off. What are you thinking? Is it you want these guys out there to make sure we can take it down, or would you rather err on the side of caution, make sure they're as healthy as can be when the playoffs kick off?
I think you probably err on the side of the caution, but I also worry about him being a little bit rusty. We're talking about a long time before game plan here. I mean, this will be Damar Hamlin and Rasul Douglas' third game if they miss this one. So, and then if they miss next week, that's four. So, we're talking about a month plus removed from game time. They should be fine. But I think, yeah, let's get as healthy as we can. Cam Lewis jumps out to me. I've really liked the attitude and the way he plays the football on the back end. This is a guy that's done a lot of stuff. He's filled in at slot when Taron Johnson was out. He's now filling in at safety. He's just such a great player for this defense. He does a lot of different things, flies around the football field, makes plays, hits hard. I really, without him in there, I worry what we would do because again, both safeties questionable there. It would be who knows? Maybe Micah Hyde actually plays. Maybe they move him up off the practice squad this week. We'll see. But that one really jumps out to me as one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, hopefully with Milano and Rasul Douglas getting into full practice, that means they should be out there this week, but perhaps they wouldn't play their full complement of snaps or whatever. Ideally, maybe they could not have to play in the second half for some reason, for a good some reason. But we are not going to jinx anything by saying it out loud. But we are going to move into our keys to victory, Jamie G's keys. You know my keys. If the Bills can have these keys in their hand, put them in the lock, unlock the door, they are winning the game this week. No diggity, don't doubt. Jamie G, give us your keys to victory for week 17.
Yeah, number one, Jamie G Key is look, this is just another day at the office. It's just another game. That's it. It's week 17. That's it. It is not the time to look ahead at all. There's still business to be taken care of here. We have to get this win for multiple reasons, like we talked about earlier on the show here. And I think there could also be a little bit of temptation to give Josh Allen a chance to bolster his MVP case, knowing that he had a little bit of a down game last week. And it just seems like this is so week to week with how the media reports on it. Look, if that's how the game flow works out, great. But I don't know that there's a need to focus on that. And I think that Josh Allen and the rest of them would all agree. Let's make sure we get a team win before anything else. And don't get me wrong, a Josh Allen MVP would be both deserving and amazing. I would love it, but that's not our ultimate goal we're shooting here for. That our ultimate goal is to bring home a trophy. Number two, make Aaron Rodgers feel his age. I'll tell you what, Mills, I'm 40, and I feel like I'm going to rupture an Achilles or blow a knee every time I come up and down the steps. He just turned 41 and he's playing out the string for another failed Jets team here. I think we should get after him, hit him early and often. Every one of those hits is going to add up. He's not moving as quick as he used to in the pocket. There's an opportunity to take advantage of that. I want him to feel like Roger Murtaugh by the second quarter. He's too old for this shit. The Jets, they're really banged up on the O-line. The only chance they have is Aaron Rodgers turning back the clock, looking like the Aaron Rodgers of 10 years ago. A few hard landings on that frozen field, that cold, hard turf. I think he'll be wondering what the hell he's even doing there. He'll be dreaming about taking ayahuasca in Costa Rica. An early lead here, it would be nice, not necessary. Few good shots on Rodgers should set us up to control the game. I'd like to get up early to force them to be one-dimensional where we can really tee off on them. Jamie G, key number three. If we want to have a vanilla game plan, then we have to execute the vanilla plays. I understand the Bills' desire to not show stuff. They're trying to save some bag of tricks in the bag. That's fine. It's not a bad idea for them to avoid showing stuff that could help a potential playoff opponent plan for them. I get it. Good coaching. But if we're going to keep it simple, the defense will figure out what's going on and they'll figure it out quickly. Bills are talented enough, I think, to still make it work, but they have to execute, pay attention to detail. No penalties, no stupid pre-snap bullshit that puts us in a bad position. Win your one-on-one battles, stuff like that, man. If you're playing one hand tied behind your back, you can't help the opponent with turnovers, stupid penalties, etc. So as long as we take care of business, it's fine. Keep it vanilla, but execute.
It's a week where you don't even need to have that hot of keys, just some nice vanilla keys, right? It's all about just executing, keep it simple, stupid, and do not even let them have a flicker of life. Aaron Rodgers is just in it for the media, man. He's just getting blown out again. He's not going to get the kind of attention he wants, so he'll probably go over on the sideline, put on his little hoodie, put on his little hat, and call it a day. And we're going to be coming in hot here with some predictions because this is a Buffalo show. We do our predictions like you do Buffalo wings at various levels of heat. So we're going to have a mild prediction, a medium prediction, and a hot one. Jamie G, you're coming in hot for week 17. What's going to happen?
Absolutely, man. Mild has still got flavor, baby. You'll know. It's not a full-blown sweat, but you're going to feel a little burn. I'm talking about a defensive combo meal here, Mills. I want it extra large. We're saying the defense steps up, forces at least one turnover, yes, please, and gets at least 3 sacks. The Jets have only given up 1 sack in each of their last 2 games, while the Bills have had 2 and 3 in their last 2 games. And if you want to add a little more spice to this, the most sacks the Jets have allowed in a single game this season is 5, and the most the Bills have had in a game this season is 5. 6 sacks, that would be spicy, baby. Let's get it. Our medium Mills, it's a typical Buffalo medium. It's got flavor and heat. James Cook is going to carry fantasy teams to a championship. That's right. Let's mark him down for 100 plus rushing yards with at least one touchdown. Find him pay dirt once. That'll be his third straight game with 100 plus rushing yards and at least one touchdown. And it'll be the fourth time in 5 games that he's done so. He's had 26 plus PPR points in each of his last 2 weeks. Why not one more to bring home that hardware? All right, Mills. Coming in hot with this one, baby. The Bills will hold the Jets under 10 points. Woo! That's a great defensive game, and it could be very beneficial for the Bills here. And the Jets might just be what the doctor ordered. They failed to score double-digit points 3 times this season, including last week when they only managed 9 points at home against the Rams. The Bills can do this. I think we can finally feel good about resting the starters on both sides of the ball next week. The Jets offense is humming. I think the team might have to try to work through some of their issues in week 18, even if they've clinched, trying to get back on the right streak heading into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum.
And just get up early, hit Aaron Rodgers. I mean, what are they going to do? They don't even have a kicker who can hit anymore, really. They're on like their fourth kicker right now. So let's make the kicker be the star for the Jets. That's probably a good one. If the kicker is the star, I think you are in good shape. Anything else in particular we haven't touched on here about this matchup that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah, I think that the offensive line, defensive line, as always, the up front controlling the line of scrimmage is going to be key in this one. But for me, I'm really excited to see the Bills offense find a way to still do what they do while still trying to protect some of the play calls. Last week I saw him run the same play 4 times in a row at Ty Johnson, and that's fine. It worked. They got the first down or whatever. But I really want to see them, find success here utilizing the playmakers that they have. And look, we don't need to save Amari Cooper for the playoffs. Give him a couple looks, man. I haven't seen him. I need an Amari Cooper sighting, please.
Yeah, have you seen this man? Maybe we could throw in a Mari Palooza here. It'll be just like an old school tour or something like that. We'll bring everybody back, have a good old time. And Jamie G, I want you to have a good old time. So go ahead, get out your dream board and manifest some Mafia magic for you. I just want you to picture in your head the perfect way for this game to unfold, the ideal scenario. I would say for me, you just play good enough in the first half, you make Aaron Rodgers go full Vontae Davis. If Aaron Rodgers just retired at halftime, yes, he would suck all the attention up, so he would be very happy, but I think that would just be so much fun. So that would be my ideal dream here. Obviously, the Bills would like to win the game too, but if they're going to make Aaron Rodgers retire at halftime, I think that would work. Where are you at, man? What's on your dream board for this one?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Bills get up and dominate early here. End of the first quarter, we're up, let's just call it 17-0. Aaron Rodgers has been hit, beat up. Finally, in the second quarter, he gets picked off, returned for a pick six. Bills are up 24-0. And then on the ensuing drive, he's hit so hard, he gets knocked out of the game. Never wish injury, but it's just enough to rattle him where he comes out, he walks off, but he just is so defeated at this point. He's just done. He doesn't come back out at halftime. He doesn't full on Antonio Brown this thing, but he doesn't come back out on halftime. We see Tyrod Taylor. Unfortunately, Tyrod Taylor makes a game of it. But the Bills still win and win a close one at home.
I think I'd also be there for if I don't know how long it takes to kick in or whatever, but if he wants to do Aaron Rodgers wants to do the ayahuasca before the game and then play on it, I think I would be there to see that. I think that could be fun. Maybe he would literally be seeing ghosts. He makes Sam Darnold feel better, right? Maybe they're just everywhere. We just can't see them. We're unable to perceive them.
Mills, my final dream scenario though is Aaron Rodgers' career ends as an absolute failure with the Jets in Buffalo. How awesome. His career with the Jets seemed to end before it began against the Bills. How fitting would it be that it ends in Buffalo?
I'm there for it. I'm pretty much there. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers, but I'm pretty much there for wherever it wants to end. But in Buffalo would be a damn good place for it. That brings us to our Bills bets because what's better than watching the Bills win, making a couple bucks while you're doing it. So far on the season, we are in the green as a show here. We are up about 611 Bills bucks. Jamie G is leading the way. He's up about 374 bucks. Our tripods, our single game three leg parlay wagers are up about 325 bucks. I'm down in the red here, just slightly down about 88 bucks, but I'm going full Doc Brown, Marty McFly, Back to the Future here. I'm hitting 88 miles an hour right back into the green this week. And you know how you do that? You go with the man who knows how to cook. I'm going back to James Cook here. I'm going to take the over 83 and a half rushing plus receiving yards. That is minus 115. So put 100 Bills bucks on that bad boy. You are bringing back about 187 in return. That would put me in the green, and that would be mighty nice as we approach the end of the season here. Jamie G, what's your Bills bet for week 17?
I'm going to take the over on Khalil Shakir. It's over 43 and a half receiving yards. I love this matchup for Shakir. I think he gets it. I think he could get there in the first half, Mills. Love this one. It's minus 115. 100 cricket coins to take home 187.
I think if this game goes the way we would like it to, he will get there in the first half, and then maybe not even need to be out there in the second half, hopefully, but we will find out. That brings us to our tripod, our single game three leg parlay for this one. We're getting all the odds from Draftkings, so if you're looking to get this one on your own, that's where we're getting them. And we did not have a very full menu available when we were doing this, so we had to get a little bit creative with it, but we've already laid out how we think this game will go down throughout the show, so let's bring it all together here. We're going to say the Bills win the race to 25 points. That means they just need to be the first team to hit 25 points. So it means they have to at least score 25. That is minus 160 on its own. And we think the Bills are going to get started in a fairly decent fashion here. We're going to take the over on the first half Bills points. That's over 13 and a half. That is minus 135 on its own. And finally, to get us up to at least plus 500, we got to find some juice somewhere. So we're going to lean on the Bills defense and say the New York Jets will score under 12 and a half points. That is plus 295. So you put these three together. Buffalo winning the race to 25. Buffalo over 13 and a half first half points, and the Jets under 12 and a half points. Your odds are plus 625. So 100 Bills bucks bringing you back home 725. That'll go a long way towards helping with some of those holiday bills. Jamie G, I know you're always a little bit nervous when you have to commit to numbers here, but the Bills can do this, right? They can definitely do this.
I think they can, and I think they should. And I think that the opportunity is there, just considering that, hey, we didn't have our best game last week against a weaker opponent. We need to kind of respond here and just internally. And you've kind of seen this throughout the season when they've had a kind of a down game, they come out and they play really well the next game. So I'm hoping that that trend continues this week.
Yep, and the trend of Aaron Rodgers going to another football team could continue as well. That brings us to our DraftKings picks for the Showdown contest for this Week 17 matchup over on DraftKings. We call these our Draft Joshes because on the Mafia Minute, only Josh Allen is suitable to be called the king. And that's why Josh Allen is still our favorite captain option for this one. Yeah, maybe in an ideal world, he's not even out there in the fourth quarter. But if you're playing in any kind of cash game, single entry tournament, smaller thing, you want to have Josh Allen as your captain at 17,400. But if you're playing in a tournament in a bigger contest, you might want to do what was the right play last week and go to James Cook in your captain spot. He is 15,300. Again, we talked about he's got the streak of 100-yard games and a touchdown. He's doing it for fantasy owners. Now is the time to ride. And if you're going to go with a value play, maybe it is the week to take a chance on that Bills defense at 5,200 in your flex. Rodgers is banged up. He doesn't move like he used to. A lot of injuries on the offensive line there. Turnovers could happen. We saw the Bills defense find the end zone last week. Could they do it again here? And if you want, go ahead, use either Bills backup running back with that defense, especially if you think they're going to be able to get up. Ray Davis is 3,600. Ty Johnson is 4K. Both will be involved. It's tough to pick between the two. Jamie G, if you had a preference here, you go Ray Davis 36, Ty Johnson at 4K.
Oh man, I think I'm probably going Ray Davis here and saving the extra 400.
I don't mind it either. I think Davis is more likely to get carries, whereas Ty Johnson's a little bit more targeted in the passing game, and hopefully the Bills won't be in a spot where they need to be attempting that many passes. If you want to run it back on the other side with a Jets player, Breece Hall is probably the way to go at 8,400 in your flex. He's pretty much the most involved guy on that Jets offense when you combine his touches in the rushing game and the receiving game. We've seen the Bills struggle a little bit with running backs out of the backfield, so not a bad way to go. And if you want to save some money for the Jets, you could dip down to Braylon Allen at 3,400. They're still working in Isaiah Davis a little bit, but Allen is clearly the RB2 here, still getting a little bit of work in the passing game. And if you want to go with a tournament flexi option here, maybe think about going with Garrett Wilson at AK instead of Devontae Adams. I think Adams will play, but again, he's missed practice the first 2 days this week, been a little bit banged up. He's going to be more expensive and more owned. Nice formula here to get a little bit of leverage with Garrett Wilson. And if you're stacking it up in a tournament, probably good week to go with James Cook in there at your captain spot. Put the Bills defense in. Don't be afraid to work in one of those backup running backs. If you want to play Josh Allen in there, you can. I usually prefer to play Josh Allen at the captain spot or nothing, because if Josh is going to go off, he is going to go off. But you could work him in there if you want. And don't be afraid of a kind of crazy lineup. Put the Bills defense in a captain, play a couple of running backs, throw in basically whatever you want, and hope that we get multiple turnovers, make it happen. And that's a case where you can easily afford then to slide Josh Allen and James Cook into your flex, get all your favorite players in there. That's the way to be. One final order of business. We need Jamie G's final score prediction. Last week you were kind of off, but you got the team right. That's the main part we care about. This is 99% about picking the right team, 1% picking the actual margin of victory. What are you feeling for this one?
I am feeling pretty good here, Mills. I got the Bills winning. I've got the Bills 31, Jets 9.
I like it. I like it. And a nice even 40 right there. It feels like that one could be 24-3 at halftime. That could get you into that nice
That's what I'm
range where
hoping
everyone.
for. We're trying to manifest it.
Yeah, and everyone can have a nice, easy fourth quarter. Down to the Bills players, everyone watching the game, all that good stuff. So that's what we're going for. A nice, leisurely, less stressful viewing experience. And we will be back to see how this one went down with a game review. But until then, this has been another episode of the Mafia Minute. Thanks for checking us out. We are presented by Caesar Gap Fantasy Football. Find us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Caesar Gap FF and on the web at MafiaMinute.com. Nice and easy to remember, just like those flaps. FLAPS, very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you've hit the thumb. I am Magnum Mills, and he is Jamie G, and his final job is to get you as excited as possible for this final Bills home game of the 2024 regular season. Jamie G, take us away.
Bills Mafia, you've been phenomenal all year. I've loved going to games with you. I've loved seeing you at games. I loved you representing and doing everything you can to influence the game for our Bills. This is it, man. This is the last one. Go have an absolute blast and then get ready, because playoffs are coming, baby. And you're going to have to bring your A game for that. Enjoy it. I look forward to seeing you guys on the flip side. This is a game opportunity to beat a division opponent, which always, always, always feels good. I love beating the Jets. I love it so much. I wish we could do it more than twice a year. This is a chance to sweep them. Let's take care of business at home. Go 8-0 at home this year. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Go Bills.